Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. All right, folks, we got to start off with Bitcoin because today Bitcoin went below 60K, touching 58K. So the volatility continues, and we're going to have to be patient here to see if this is going to continue going down or is it going to continue in a rising channel? Is just us forming the bottom of that channel, or it's going to again go down to lower lows, possibly to 50K, right? So just be prepared for that. Obviously, as I've been saying, we are in the bottom zone. The majority of the downward move has been completed. And I think if there's another move down, it would be that final move. And I'm not just saying that because of gut feeling, but rather based on the data. One of the things I've been highlighting is that there's a bullish divergence forming on the weekly chart. This is something that has formed at the bottoms of these bear markets. And if you look at the inverse of that, if you look at USDT dominance, right? So this is a stable coin liquidity, it is forming a bearish divergence. So the perfect scenario or setup here, right? You're seeing the respective signals. So this is where I think we're getting close if the bottom's not in already. But just be prepared. I'm personally, I know that, hey, there's a probability it's in, or we could see another downward move. So just have that in your mind so you're not surprised. And as I've been telling you guys, I'm dollar cost averaging in. So I'm buying the dips on a lot of altcoins and things along those lines. I'm not trying to get the bottom or time the bottom perfectly. That's impossible, right? But I'm going to look for the bottom zone, as I've been saying. And when I'm exiting the market, I'm looking for the top zone. So these are things to keep in mind. Now, as I've been telling you guys, this move necessarily shouldn't be surprising because I've been highlighting in the podcast updates as well as in my newsletter that the stock market is showing a ton of weakness, and the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and much more have been correcting. So I think we're going to look at this as a benchmark. If it starts reversing, we will see crypto start to follow. The stock market, as far as the S&P 500, the RSI is past the neutral zone. So let's see if it goes to the oversold zone. It's not guaranteed to go there, but it could certainly go down there and test some supports, then bounce and start the next rally upwards, which I believe crypto will follow. I've often stated that I believe the market makers in crypto watch the stock market and they know they use that as a benchmark, and they do their thing in the crypto market, right? And it's kind of the canary in the coal mine, and that when you see these type of moves from crypto, it's coming for the stock market, which is a little less volatile when you look at the indexes like the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and more. So we got to be patient. Some other signals, that I'm looking at that are indicative of the bottom being close is that more than 50% of the Bitcoin supply out there is underwater. So it's hitting levels that we've seen at previous bear market bottoms. So something to keep in mind. And it's just patience. I know it's painful. I know it's annoying to watch your portfolio go down, but it's all cyclical, guys. We're not in a bear market forever. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, Bitcoin has entered the very cheap zone. This is a great chart by Analyst Crypto currently. So it's relative to the all-time high. So we are back in the cheap zone. Bitcoin it briefly hit the expensive zone when it hit 126K. Obviously, the past bull market was lackluster. So we didn't go into that heavily expensive area or even the very expensive area. It was a kind of a shortened bull market, right? But relative to that, we're back in the very cheap zone. So again, all of these factors align to some sort of bottom here, if it's in or we're very close to it. So yeah, these are the different things I'm looking at. Now, despite all of this volatility, Charles Schwab has officially rolled out their Bitcoin trading services. So just in time to buy the dip, right? You can imagine a lot of these institutions are going to start accumulating because there's extreme fear. The sentiment is just bad and the prices are low, right? They're going to start to accumulate. So I hope you have a plan to accumulate as well. Now, something to think about is we're seeing a lot of progress with the Clarity Act. And I've been stating for the past year or so that the Clarity Act passing will have a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So we could see a rally, in July if everything goes according to plan, where you have that buy the rumor, sell the news event with the Clarity Act passing. Maybe Bitcoin rallies back up to 80 something K or so. And we'll have to wait and see. And here, Senator Lummis, she was interviewed this morning by Maria Bartiromo on Fox and talking about the Clarity Act. Here's what she had to say. We are finally to the point where we are going to put out the text over the July 4th and give people one last really thorough look at the bill. And then we are moving in July. So talking about the Senate now. And remember what I reported to you guys that the House scheduled a hearing for the Clarity Act on July 17th. So the House is anticipating that this bill is going to pass the Senate and come back to the House where it's going to go through the same process and then go to President Trump. Because the reason that is set up that way, the House passed the FIT 21, which is a version of the Clarity Act. The Senate made updates, so it has to go back to the House, right, for their approval. I don't anticipate any issues. So let me play the clip here of what Senator Lummis had to say.
But we've been working through thousands of hours in negotiating, thousands. And we're finally to the point where we're going to put out a text over the July 4th and give people one last really thorough look at the bill. And then we're moving in July.
All right. So there you have it, guys. So things are starting to move here. Not guaranteed that the bill is going to pass, but we are at least seeing progress. Now, the other thing Maria Bartiromo asked Senator Lummis is, do you think there's going to be problems with Jamie Dimon and the banks? Remember, just in May, Jamie came out and he was critical of the Clarity Act, calling out Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase. He was very angry, right? Well, Senator Lummis, posted a video and she said, my advice to Jamie Dimon, grab a chair, find a good spot on the beach, and actually read the bill over July 4th. His concerns have been addressed. Section 301 handles them directly. We have 16 provisions protecting against illicit finance. He is simply mistaken. Now, this is certainly could be a roadblock that comes up in addition to the ethics piece. There's two major roadblocks that could really cause problems, but let's hope we can, push through and get this done. But again, seeing progress, we're seeing dates and things being put on the calendar here, and fingers crossed they can get the Clarity Act passed before the August recess. And again, we could see it maybe a buy the rumor, sell the news event type of rally. And as mentioned with the House, they have set up their hearing on July 17th. Well, French Hill, Congressman, or the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, Chairman French Hill, tells Fox the Clarity Act has bipartisan support to pass the legislation. Now, he's talking about the House. So this is what I'm saying. It gets through the Senate. I think it's going to be very easy to get through the House because they already passed a version of the bill. So French Hill, he's very smart, knows crypto. I've had him on many times on the podcast, so I don't anticipate there's going to be a lot of issues in the House. All right, moving ahead, Japan now has a two-tier stablecoin system. So SBI lists RLUSD, which is Ripple stablecoin built on the XRP ledger and Ethereum. They have it ready for retail dollar settlements, while SBI Holdings JPYSC, so Japanese yen stablecoin, handles unlimited yen-denominated corporate settlements, both launched today. Ripple also highlighted this news where they talked about, the RLUSD is officially available in Japan. So we know SBI and Ripple closely related. SBI made a big investment in Ripple a long time ago, and great to see stable coins and different digital currencies are being built and available across the globe, guys. So incredible stuff. So folks, that's the news. Not too many items. The main items were, of course, the market volatility and, of course, the Clarity Act updates. So be sure to check out our sponsor, iTrust Capital. And you can invest via an IRA in crypto as well as precious metals. And they have a great custody program that you need to check out as well. It uses institutional grade custody such as Coinbase Prime, so your assets are safe. And, when you invest via an IRA, you get the tax benefits, right? So you can sell your assets, whether it be gold and silver or crypto, and you don't incur long-term or short-term capital gains taxes. And it's low fees. I have an account with them. And if you sign up with my link, you can get a $100 funding bonus. So go to itrustcapital.com/go/thinkingcrypto. Link will be in the description. Folks, also check out my newsletter. It's 100% free on Substack. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. You can get 50% off the price of the course. We have a huge sale going on. Use the code BEAR, BEAR at checkout to get that 50% off. So go check it out at mycryptocourse.com. Folks, all the links will be in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.